What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my movie collection for 2016, and on to the thriller section. Yeah, thriller part 1. We're in my bedroom now, out of the living room, so we're in the home stretch as far as these videos go. So let's get started. So up first we have Air Force One, classic, of course, directed by Wolfgang Petersen from 1997, with Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman. Up next we have The American from 2010 on Blu-ray. Yeah, good little thriller with George Clooney and Violanta Placido, really sexy in this film, from what I remember. Up next we have Arlington Road, really great movie, underrated film from 1999, with Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins. Up next we have Bad Day at Black Rock from 1955, great film with Spencer Tracy and Robert Ryan. Up next we have Paul Verhoeven's Basic Instinct, classic of course from 1992 with Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone. Wayne Knight from Seinfeld fame, I remember, is in this movie. Yeah, good film. Gene Triplehorn. Alright, up next we have Black Swan from 2010 on Blu-ray. Yeah, great film directed by Darren Aronofsky. Fantastic Academy Award winning performance, of course, by Natalie Portman, Vincent Cassel, Mila Kunis, really good, great movie that. Up next we have Blood Simple from 1984, classic by the Coen Brothers, one of my favorite Coen Brothers films, with John Getz, Frances McDormand, and Dan Hedaya. Up next we have Body Heat from 1981, deluxe edition, great film, directed by Lawrence Kasdan with William Hurt and Kathleen Turner, really sexy film. Up next we have Bound from 1996, fantastic movie, yeah, really sexy, good crime thriller with Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon. Joe Pantoliano, directed by the Wachowski brothers, great movie that. Up next we have Buried on Blu-ray from 2010. Yeah, really good, intense thriller directed by Rodrigo Cortez with Ryan Reynolds, guy trapped in a box and buried in Iraq. Yeah, really good performance by Ryan Reynolds. Actually, I think it's probably his best performance. Yeah, good movie, Buried. Up next we have Cape Fear, the original from 1962. With Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum, fantastic film. Great performance by Robert Mitchum in that. And I also got the Martin Scorsese remake, Cape Fear from 1991, with Robert De Niro, Jessica Lange, Nick Nolte, and Juliette Lewis. Yeah, one of Robert De Niro's most fierce performances. Up next we have Cellular from 2004. Yeah, good little thriller with Kim Basinger, Chris Evans, Jason Statham, and William H. Macy. Up next we have Changing Lanes from 2002. Yeah, good little film with Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson, two guys butting heads on the New York freeway, and then it just escalates over time. Two guys fighting over one day. Interesting film. Up next we have The Company You Keep on Blu-ray from 2012. Yeah, good film, directed by Robert Redford, who stars in the film alongside Shia LaBeouf, Julie Christie, Sam Elliott, Brendan Gleeson, Terrence Howard, Richard Jenkins, Anna Kendrick, Stanley Tucci, Nick Nolte, Chris Cooper, Susan Sarandon. Yeah, really good cast, obviously. Yeah, good film. Up next we have The Constant Gardener from 2005, film directed by Fernando Meirelles. Yeah, with Ralph Fiennes and Rachel Weisz in her Oscar-winning performance. Yeah, really good film. Up next we have Contagion from 2011 on Blu-ray. Yeah, really good movie directed by Steven Soderbergh. Fantastic cast: Matt Damon, Marion Cotillard, Jude Law, Kate Winslet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. Up next, we have The Conversation from 1974, one of the great films of the 70s, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, with Gene Hackman. Yeah, Enemy of the State from 1998 is sort of a loose remake of this film, which Gene Hackman, of course, stars in that film as well. But yeah, The Conversation is a great movie. Up next, we have The Crimson Rivers from 2001. Really good French thriller directed by Mathieu Kassovitz with Jean Reno and Vincent Cassel. Up next, we have The Day of the Jackal from 1973. Great film directed by Fred Zinnemann with Edward Fox. Yeah, great performance by him. Really good film. The Jackal with Bruce Willis. Not as good as that movie, but yeah, the original is just a great film. Up next, we have Deliverance, fantastic film, of course, one of the best of the 70s, from 1972, directed by John Boorman. Great performances by Burt Reynolds and Jon Voight. Of course, the dueling banjos scene, legendary. That music just sort of defined a area in southeastern America, Deliverance country. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, up next we have Devil's Advocate from 1997, film directed by Taylor Hackford with Al Pacino, Keanu Reeves, Charlize Theron, Connie Nielsen. Yeah, good little thriller, not great, sort of a guilty pleasure, that's for sure. Up next we have The Devil's Own, with Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt. Actually, I think this one, yeah, directed by Alan J. Pakula. Not a great movie, but still pretty decent. Up next, we have Dial M for Murder from 1954. Classic Alfred Hitchcock, of course, with Ray Milland, Grace Kelly, and Robert Cummings. Up next, we have The Disappearance of Alice Creed on Blu-ray from 2010. Yeah, good movie with Gemma Arterton, Martin Compston, and Eddie Marsan. Yeah, I enjoyed Gemma Arterton in that film. Up next, we have Dolores Claiborne from 1995. Another film directed by Taylor Hackford with Kathy Bates and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Up next, we have Double Jeopardy from 1999. With Tommy Lee Jones and Ashley Judd. Yeah, good movie. Of course, about a woman who can't be tried twice for the murder of her husband, especially when he turns up alive. Yeah, good film. I like that movie. Up next, we have Dressed to Kill, classic, of course, directed by Brian De Palma from 1980, with Michael Caine, Angie Dickinson, and Nancy Allen. I also have this on the Criterion Collection. Up next, we have Duel, one of Steven Spielberg's earliest films, of course, from 1971. Dennis Weaver, yeah, guy trying to thwart a mad trucker who's just chasing him down on the highway. Good movie, Duel. Alright, up next we have Eagle Eye from 2008. Yeah, good high-tech thriller with Shia LaBeouf, Michelle Monaghan, and Billy Bob Thornton, 2-disc special edition. Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie when it came out. Up next, we have Eye of the Needle from 1981. Really good film with Donald Sutherland and Kate Nelligan, directed by Richard Marquand. Up next, we have Falling Down, yeah, directed by Joel Schumacher from 1993 with Michael Douglas going on the rampage in Los Angeles. Good movie, good performance by Michael Douglas in that film. Up next, we have Alfred Hitchcock's final film, Family Plot from 1976 with Karen Black and Bruce Dern. Good movie. Up next, we have Fatal Attraction, great film directed by Adrian Lyne from 1987, of course, with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, and probably her most memorable performance ever. Up next, we have Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut from 1999. Of course, his final film with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, Lily Sobieski. Good movie, not Kubrick's best, but still a good send-off for one of my favorite directors. Up next, we have David Fincher's Fight Club, of course. Edward Norton and Brad Pitt, Helena Bonham Carter, Meatloaf. Just a fantastic movie. Still remember the first time I saw this when it came out in 1999. Just a great film. Up next, we have The Firm from 1993, directed by Sidney Pollack with Tom Cruise. Up next, we have Frantic from I think 1989, something like that. Yeah, film directed by Roman Polanski with Harrison Ford. Up next, we have Frenzy, another Alfred Hitchcock film from 1972 with John Finch and Barry Foster. Yeah, good sort of murder thriller. Up next, we have From Hell. Yeah, really good film from 2001 by the Hughes brothers. Great visually, really atmospheric, with Johnny Depp and Heather Graham, of course, about Jack the Ripper. I'm a huge fan of the legend of Jack the Ripper. Yeah, one of the greatest mysteries. Of course, still has gone unsolved all these years. Yeah, big fan of that movie. Up next, we have The Gambler from 2014 with Mark Wahlberg. John Goodman really good in a couple of scenes, and Alison Brie. Not Alison Brie, what's her name? Brie Larson, sorry. Get my Bries mixed up. Alright, up next we have The Ghost Rider from 2010 on Blu-ray. Yeah, really good film, directed by Roman Polanski with Pierce Brosnan, Ewan McGregor, Kim Cattrall, and Olivia Williams. Up next on Blu-ray we have Gone from 2012 with Amanda Seyfried. Yeah, good little thriller. I liked Amanda Seyfried's performance in this movie. That leads me to Gone Girl from 2014, one of my favorite films of that year, of course, directed by David Fincher. Fantastic movie, great performances by Ben Affleck, and especially Rosamund Pike. Neil Patrick Harris, poor guy. Yeah, great movie, Gone Girl. Alright, up next we have Hannibal from 2001. Of course, sort of the sequel to The Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins and Julianne Moore, directed by Ridley Scott. Yeah, really good supporting cast. Ray Liotta and Gary Oldman. I'm not a huge fan of Hannibal, and I haven't seen the TV show, but funnily enough, my mom is a big fan of the TV show Hannibal, but I've never seen it. Alright, up next we have Hard Candy from 2005, great movie with, of course, Ellen Page, fantastic performance by her, Patrick Wilson and Sandra Oh, film directed by David Slade. Up next we have the original The Hitcher from 1986 with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Just a fantastic movie. I wasn't really a fan of the remake with Sean Bean. It was okay, but not enough for me to get it. Up next we have How I Live Now from 2013, film directed by Kevin MacDonald with Saoirse Ronan. Yeah, I liked this movie. I liked her performance. Good little film, that one. Up next we have In the Line of Fire. Yeah, great movie directed by Wolfgang Peterson, of course, with Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, and Rene Russo. Up next we have The International from 2009, something like that, with Clive Owen and Naomi Watts, of course, about a sinister bank. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. Good action. The gun battle in the like the Guggenheim Art Museum was really good from that movie. Up next we have The Jacket from 2005. Yeah, good film with Adrian Brody and Keira Knightley. Up next we have Jaws, of course, Steven Spielberg's masterpiece from 1975 with Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. Fantastic score by John Williams, just one of the classics of all time, goes without saying. And up next we have Joyride from 2001. Yeah, good movie with Paul Walker, Steve Zahn, and Lily Sobieski. I haven't seen the sequels to this film, but I've always liked the first one. And last but not least, for this part one, I'm going to end on the K's. I'm going to end with California from 1993 with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis. Yeah, good film directed by Dominic Sena. So that is Thriller Part 1. Up next will be Part 2, of course. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.